Hi, and welcome to The Secret Life of Parkinson's. I'm your host, Jessica Krauser, and I'm here with Brian Baker.
It's so great to see you, Jess.
Oh, thanks. It's so wonderful to see you, too. But is it wonderful to see our special guest?
It's always wonderful to see her here.
She's back. Melissa Carlson from PDNextSteps.
Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you.
It's always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
So we love to talk to Melissa about exercise.
Talking about it is great.
Talking about it, not doing it.
Yeah. Doing it, whatever. But there was a couple times that Melissa used this phrase in the gym, and I just thought it was kind of funny. And then I was like, we should probably talk about it because it does really matter. So the title of this episode is, in Parkinson's, Size Matters. Mm-hmm. Why does size matter? What does that mean?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that. And I'm going to give you guys a new word.
What?
Hypokinesia. It's another word. Yeah.
I'll write that down.
And I did check with Joel to make sure I had my facts straight. Mm-hmm. And hypokinesia is a decrease in motor activity. So when I always say over-exaggerate your moves, move bigger, move with intention, because people with Parkinson's tend to move, their movements are smaller, that is hypokinesia. We've heard of bradykinesia, which is slower movement as well, which is a term that we all know a little bit more. Walking slower, when you start to shuffle a little bit, your gait, all that stuff. But this is actual motor activity, hypokinesia.
Interesting.
I know.
Wow. Interesting.
She knows so much. She's such a wealth of knowledge.
A wealth of knowledge, if you didn't hear that.
Yes, I did. Can you say it in this?
I couldn't say it. I couldn't say it without stuttering.
But actually going to that, it's not just our movements. It's our voices.
It's your voices,
yes. So you also have to over-exaggerate.
Over-exaggerate.
That's another term, too. We'll talk about that when your voice gets softer. That's another term.
Is it? Mm-hmm. We need to have that definitions thing.
Yeah, that'll be that's a later date.
So tell us different things that people can do to make movements bigger, to make their voice bigger, since everything we do gets smaller.
So intention, I always say speak with intention. Look at yourself in a mirror. We have mirrors at the gym, which are just greatly beneficial. And so I urge people to watch themselves, because they may be thinking they're holding their arms straight and they're really like this. So we do a lot of Ys, because I want your elbows, I want full extension here. And then they turn around, they say, oh, wait, I'm not a Y, I'm a W. So watching yourself in the mirror, if you're at home exercising, you can look in a picture frame, you can kind of see your outline, working alongside someone else that can say, you're not doing it the right way, or something like that.
I never do that.
Find a friend that can kind of call you out. But it is just over-exaggerating things, because when you think you're moving a certain way, you're really not, because Parkinson's makes your moves a lot smaller.
So not that I never believed you about the mirror thing, but it is really true. Do you use the mirror?
I use the mirror.
No, seriously.
I use the mirror.
That's why I turn around.
I face the mirrors every time.
Okay. So do you feel like you notice a difference?
Yes, because when she yells at the general population, and I can usually tell when it's directed towards me, it says, straighten up your arms. I look in the mirror, I'm like, she's right, I'm not straight.
It's like isn't it the weirdest thing, though? Because I'm still, I just always thought I was fine. Mm-hmm. And then I turned around, because, this arm doesn't go, all the way up. So I don't want to go all the way up right now. But I turned around one time and I'm like, oh, it's really not straight.
Yeah, it's the little game Parkinson's likes to play on you. So, but you can overcome it. It's just like anything else. The more you practice, the more you watch yourself. I've seen people, and it goes back to what Dr. Patel has shared with us. When people lose that arm swing, and he sees them when they start to have shoulder issues, it's because they haven't been using that arm the way they should. So when people first come to me and we start, one of the first things I do with an assessment is make them walk and pinpoint the exact arm. If they're lacking an arm swing, pinpoint that exact one and make them go home and practice it over and over and over again. But it's over exaggerating, and it seems very elementary and very, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's asking me to do this, but it works. I mean, it's just like anything else. The more you practice, the better off, the more it's going to become a habit. So
practicing putting your arms out wide.
Yeah.
Practicing
So
making.
big.
yeah,
So
I mean, that's one of
big.
the things we always say. It sounds very childish,
Yeah.
How big are you? You're
So
so big.
big.
I mean, but if you're not going to go so big, you're going to go so big. So yeah, there's a lot of truth behind it.
There's a lot of truth.
And then our steps always have to be really big.
Right.
Because there's tripping occurs a lot.
Right, and
So
especially
again,
when you're out in public and you get distracted and there's, chaos around sometimes, even in a grocery store when you're focusing on looking for your item, your fruit and veggies. That's right. And you're not concentrating on your steps, people are more likely to fall.
it's one thing that I really like that you incorporated into
What is that?
Do you want to know? I was
Really
going to tell
do.
you that you incorporated in the beginning of our exercises is even with your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Like going big with your movements here, making what do you call them?
The
Flickers.
flicks, yeah.
And then tapping, but like really stretching them out. And you think, okay, is that really that big of a deal? But that's what I heard from, I think somebody in occupational therapy said, as you're writing, because like our writing is not great, or before you start typing, do this 5 times, 10 times, whatever it may be, so that you can get your, I don't know, like just almost like stretching. Like
Right,
it's another,
Get your adrenaline rush to the hands.
to get
it's
get
all
excited.
getting
to write.
those neurons firing in your brain, getting that pathway established, so and it's also too, like I tell people if they some people have trouble buttoning or zipping or something, what are you doing before?
All
Are
of
you
it.
just going in cold turkey and trying to zip or button? No, try this. Over exaggerate those flicks.
I'm going to be flicking a lot.
What about facial expressions? Because we talked about that in a previous episode. Look at you smiling. Stop
know.
doing it. Creeping me out.
I can't smile.
But, we were talking about masked face and that we both might have it sometimes. So, like we talked about even on doing this, it's like I'm over exaggerating.
Yes.
And I do it in front of the kids to be like overly, show that I'm happy because I might not be happy. So do you do anything or tell people to do anything to help with that?
Well, I mean, you've got all those muscles, and I can't recall. I'm just trying to sit here and think about how many muscles. You've got a lot, and they're just like anything else, and it takes more muscles to frown. So, but that's why, you'll hear me in class say all the time, like, can you guys smile at me? Can you, doing oral motor things with your mouth, like, blowing kisses at people,
La, la, la.
being
Wow.
like a puffer fish, all that stuff. You can do. You can practice it when you're car. There's.
Yeah. You can blow kisses to the car next to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you do on your own time.
Hey, eventually somebody's going to blow one back.
Yeah. Someday.
Possible.
Someday.
All right. Oh, here's our last 30 seconds. Go big or go home. And remember to keep your movements big, your voices big, over exaggerate. When you think you're doing it right, look in the mirror. Are you really doing it right? If not, try it again. Bigger is better when it comes to Parkinson's. Thanks for tuning in.